99% of people are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true.
Today is the beginning of the rest of your life.
Set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames.
Prioritize who you are, who you want to be, and don't spend time with anything that antagonizes your character.
Don't be hanging with no jank-ass jokers that don't help you shine.
You know that group of friends that you hang out with that really might not bring out the best in you? You know, they gossip too much or they're kind of shady. They really aren't going to be there for you in a pinch.
Look at your last 5 text messages. Are those people feeding your flames or dousing your fire?
Get rid of the excess, the wasted time.
The people that you spend time with are going to make or break your dreams. Everybody don't deserve to be around you. You got to defend your light with your life.
And when you do this, when you do put them down, when you quit going there, when you quit giving them your time, you inadvertently find yourself spending more time and in more places that are healthy for you, that bring you more joy.
Choose actions that are in your own best interest. Every day, we are choosing shit that's not in our own best interest.
Remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress.
We have to define success for ourselves. And then we have to put in the work to maintain it. Take that daily tally. Tend our garden. Keep the things that are important to us in good shape.
I believe that self-discipline is the definition of self-love. That when you say that you love yourself, that means that you have behavior towards yourself that is loving.
Instead of creating outcomes that take from us, let's create more outcomes that pay us back, fill us up, keep your fire lit, turn you on for the most amount of time in your future.
Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency.
And I think the word discipline has kind of gotten a bad name. We think about it in terms of punishment. I'm not talking about discipline in that way. I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect.
You have to work at it every day. You have to plan. Hard work works. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. I find that most of the times our obsession with what is wrong just ends up breeding more wrong, more failure. And the easiest way to dissect success is through gratitude. Giving thanks for that which we do have, for what is working. Appreciating the simple things we sometimes take for granted.
We give thanks for these things, and that gratitude reciprocates, creating more to be thankful for. It's really simple and it works.
Anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it.
Let's study the habits, the practices, the routines that we have that lead to and feed our success, our joy, our honest pain, our laughter, our earned tears. Let's dissect that and give thanks for those things. And when we do that, guess what happens? We get better at them, and we have more to dissect.
It's a scientific fact that gratitude reciprocates. So that when you wake up in the morning, say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours.
Be brave, have courage, and when you do, you get stronger, you get more aware, you get more respectful of yourself and that which you fear.
Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Think and Grow Tuesday. Who we got on the chat? Efren, Miss Pat, Kathy, Leslie, how are you guys? Phenomenal to see you on the call. Sam, Amanda, Willie, and Mr. Mark. I want to congratulate you guys for being on the call. Let's see here. Let's make sure we're recording. Can you guys hear me? Type in the chat if you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
All righty. Cool. So, welcome everybody. What is the biggest takeaway you guys got from that 5-minute segment? Type in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. One of the biggest things that I got says claim it. Thank you in advance for what's already yours. Feed your success. Success with gratitude. Gratitude reciprocates. So the more you give, the more you'll have. I think that was a huge thing. Another one was don't confuse movement with progress. So actually, I'm going to type that in the chat. Don't confuse movement with progress. Be grateful, dedication, inspire, make a difference. Exactly. So, I want to welcome you guys again for the call. I am looking for my thing. I want to let you guys know how much I care about this call. Is I'm actually missing the Warriors game right now. So I hope you guys feel my pain. It's a very good game too. So just want you guys to be aware. All right, cool. So I hope you guys had a phenomenal week. A few things I want to go over. We use the same links for every Tuesday call. I will type it in the group me, but just know we use the same links every time. So if there's any confusion, just know it's going to be the same link every Tuesday, no matter what. Okay. How many is everybody that's on the chat? Is everybody on group me? Let me make sure. Let me see who's in there. Okay, I think everybody that's on the call is usually on group me. Is there anybody that's not using group me? Because I am not sending individual texts anymore. I'm not sending individual texts. I am just sending it all to group me. What's cool about group me is I, send trainings from different team members or people within the community, different webinars. We're able to chat together. right? And then I have the links and other things. Okay, that's what cool group me. If you have questions, you can use the group me to ask the questions, to ask groups. If I'm not able to get to, try using group me before you come to me first. Just saves us all a lot of time and energy. Okay. And the reason why I keep bringing this up, guys, it's all about this, and this is what we want in our business as well. Okay. Systems. Okay. Systems. You always have to have a system for some part, whatever process you have. And the reason why is you save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. Systems. Okay, so that's why we put together these group meetings. That's why we'll have the same link, because it's a system. Boom, we eliminate that process out of our of our thought process. We already know. Boom, same link. We already know if I need a question, group me, or the Facebook app. And then if you guys still can't figure out, by all means, make sure to reach out to me. But we want to create a system so that when you guys are bringing people in, the team is growing, it's not predicated on one person, right? So we all have to implement the systems together to make it work. Okay. The Facebook group is fantastic. If you know anybody that's on the team or that's working with us, make sure to be added. Is everybody part of the best Facebook and group me? Is everybody hooked in with Hugh and his text messaging systems, with the group me and on the Facebook? Type yes in the chat, or Y in the chat if you are. Okay. Efren and Pat, are you guys in the Facebook group? Best Facebook group? No, I don't think I'm on Facebook. Are we friends on Facebook, Efren?
I'm not sure. What's the name on the on Facebook?
I think I might have added you. Is anybody else, while I look this up, not a part of those? Let me see. Are we friends on Facebook, Efren? Do you know?
Let me check. What do you have yourself on under Facebook on?
I don't think we are. Jose Andres. So add me, and then I'll add you to all those groups.
Jose Rodriguez.
No, dude. I'll type it in the chat, and then we'll do it. Rodriguez.
Okay.
Do I look like a Rodriguez?
I don't know. That's what I thought I heard.
I'm just giving you a tough time, bro. I'll type it in the chat. So it's Jose Andre. If you guys don't have me on Facebook, add me on Facebook. If you guys don't have a Facebook, get a Facebook. Okay. Um, we'll make sure to do all that. Okay, cool. So, like I said, system. So we're all pitching together, create this system. Um, and the systems we really want to make sure we're plugged into is the Renata systems. Okay. So make sure you guys, we have the founders webinar Monday, Tuesday, 7 p.m. We have the coaching call. I put the link in the group me today. See if you guys are the group me, and then we're doing our call at 8 p.m. Hugh does 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Wednesday, and then 1 and 5 star. 1 and 5 star on Thursday. Okay, so make sure you guys are going through that, plugging into the systems. So I hope you guys had a good week. What else do I have for you guys? So this past Saturday, we had Chris Albin out in SAC. I know we had Mitch Nelson in New York. I know Kathy was there, right? And then we had Chris Albin in ATL, and then we had Tony Scotti in Chicago. See, because we're part of the best team, guys, we have a nationwide team. We have team members in Hawaii all the way to Atlanta, South Carolina. We now have team members South Carolina, New York, and all the way around the country. So what's cool is if you guys have people in those certain areas or you want to invite people out, you can always plug them in. I had a team member from South Carolina go out to ATL, and she was from South Carolina. She drove 3 hours to go meet Chris Alvin. She sent me a picture with the Millionaire in the Making shirts, right? So I was going to post that on our Facebook group. So Mitch Nelson was out in New York. Mitch Nelson is one of my favorite trainers. I actually have the recording of this, and I would actually like the team to watch it. So maybe we should figure out a Saturday where we can all watch it. I believe it was like 4 hours or something like that. It's a great training, great events. Chris Wilson really hit home with what he did. This gentleman is an absolute genius. He made a bet with an adversary that he could not make or do wholesaling in a certain market of his choice. Chris Wilson took that on, and he made $40,000 in 2 weeks and went on to make over $100,000 in the next 60 days, starting from ground zero in a market he didn't know without any of his team members just wholesaling. Okay, so if you guys missed that training over this weekend, you guys missed out. He basically told us how he went boots on the ground and just knocked out 40K. So what's our excuse? All he did was go out and pass out 5,000 business cards, real estate, right? So what are we doing? What is stopping us from getting results, right? Are you going out there and taking the necessary action? Are you guys putting in the effort, going through your classes and implementing, right? Are you talking to people? Are you have your ears open to opportunity, right? Some of the things we're going to practice coming up, so we do have cash flow tomorrow, but next Wednesday, it's team only training. Now you can ask Sam and Amanda and Jaleel showed up last week, and we were able to do some one-on-one training in person, some, great things. We're going to try to stream that for Pat. But now we're going to work on our audio business cards. What's your elevator pitch? What are you telling people when you talk to them within 30 seconds of what it is that you do? Okay, so we're going to start adding these things in. We've been doing the ATM training. It kind of re-sparked some old techniques that we went over before. So we got a lot of good things. Make sure you're coming out to those. Upcoming events, June 1st or 2nd. I don't know. It's a New York Super Saturday. But Hugh has asked Mark and I to train. So we want everybody to get plugged in, show some support. We're going to be training for a nationwide team based out of New York, all across the nation. We'll be doing roughly an hour. So put that in your calendar. June 2nd, Mark says. I believe we'll start at 7 in the morning on a Saturday. It is New York time. Okay, so we'll be doing a training with that, kind of reviewing the ATM training. ATM training is going to be starting again. This is for advanced training marketing, basically the marketing side of the business, but it helps you talk to people. It helps you get out of your comfort zone. It helps you really own in on the fundamentals, okay? That's what I like to say. It's the fundamentals, right? The professionals are really good at the fundamentals. So we have to constantly practice those, okay? So be looking out for that. I'm going to keep you guys up to that. I actually want all of you guys to do this ATM. I should have did this right away. Kathy jumped in. She's already signed up 3 people. She's 1 star. The ATM's helped her out a lot, right? So we want you guys to start getting results. We want you guys, keep bringing people to the cash flow, because that's how you're going to build your business with not just real estate, the marketing, but it's all as one, right? Maybe it's not a good fit for them. No problem. What resources do they have for the real estate business, right? It's all one thing. You can bring them out to cash flow. I'm able to talk to them. Use me, right? Use me to help you with your guests to move them on in the process. And that's also what the ATM is going to help us with too. Okay. So that's just some things I wanted to go over with you guys. Make sure you're in the group me, the Facebook groups, the systems, okay, the trainings, the past events, and the events coming up. And make sure you check your calendars. So one of the things we talked about earlier in the call is don't mistake movement for progress. And this week, progress has been made with one of the teams. I'm very, I've really seen a lot of growth. This guy's been trying to really work at it, and he just shows what repetition and rehearsing and sticking to the fundamentals can do for you and your business, right? So, Sam, I want to go ahead and bring you out. I know I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but I want to bring you out. So, come off mute.
What's up, bro?
So, why don't you tell everybody kind of what transpired within this last couple of days?
So, man, it's been a crazy ride, right? As anybody, you go through your ups and downs, but within these last few weeks, starting with the training on Saturday with Chris Wilson, you know, that really took me off my board, man, because this guy, he's a freaking genius. Just the way he's able to really get into the knowledge that he brings and make you feel like it's really you. It's not on anybody else. It has to be you to do it. It definitely motivated me. But the training that you did with Jaleel, bro, that I like that a lot. I really like that one-on-one because it definitely got my mentality going. So when I called a deal this week, it's a potential deal that we found off market.
So tell them how you found it. What were you doing?
I was just driving for dollars.
Okay, so you're just driving around neighborhoods looking for distressed properties, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. So then what happened?
So I just kind of went around the house and I seen some guy outside. He was watching me, and I went up to him. I was a little bit nervous, but I was like, what the heck? Let's go ahead and just ask him. So I asked him, what did he see in the property? And hold on, bro. Give me 1 second. Sparky, come here. Sorry, we're walking the dogs. But so I went to the neighbor and I asked him, hey, do you know anything about the property? And he basically spilled the beans, telling me how the grandma lived there, the daughter owns the property, but the grandma's been ill for a while, and that there's a number on the side of the house. So I went to go check, and sure enough, there was the number.
So you found a number, okay, and then you ended up calling. So you're driving for dollars. You found a neighbor. A neighbor is willing to talk about almost anything regarding around them, right? So you
Right.
found that there's a number on the property, and then you called the number.
Correct.
Okay, and then what happened?
So oddly enough, I was thinking I was going to talk to the owner, which was the grandmother, but it was the daughter that answered. And what ended up happening is like she at first, the first phone call, she told me that she wanted to sell, but she wanted to go ahead and fix it up first. And then that's when I called you and asked you what I could do better. And when I called her back the second time, what's up?
So just we'll slow it down just so everybody can get the. So she called, right? She's like, you know what? We're not interested in selling, right? We want to fix it up. And what did you do? You just basically just said, you know what? Okay, no problem, right? You just said, okay, and just went on with like no objection or didn't fight her on it, right?
Yeah, I was pretty just like, okay, whatever. I kind of just gave up and was like, okay, let me call Jose and re-strategize the second phone call.
Okay, so then we got on, we started strategizing, and then what was kind of what did we work on?
So we ended up talking about a more questioned approach. So when I called, it was more just to figure out what was wrong with the property. You kind of put me on thing like, let me go ahead and figure out what's going on with her, and let me just ask her if I could take away all the repairs that she wanted to do first and could offer her all cash. Would it be something of interest to her? But the most important point of it was the way I said it, because
Right.
your body language definitely comes out through the phone. If you sound like someone who just is looking out for the money, they're going to cut it quick, because that's how she basically felt with – well, she didn't feel like that with the other investors that called her, but because she was in a bad moment, she wasn't ready to sell. But for some reason, she felt comfortable enough with me to go ahead and start talking to her a little bit more about her past, how she grew up there. And I knew at that moment, I was like, okay, I might have a potential lead.
So, why did you feel like it was different? Did you feel more confident in what you were saying because you knew what you were going to say?
So definitely not because I knew what I was going to say, but because I wrote it down. I had it in front of me, and bam, right there, everything that we talked about, the way we practiced it, it was basically like a damn play, bro.
Oh, so the script, right? We came up with the script with each other. And what we're getting at is, sometimes these sellers or sometimes these people, they're going to give you objections and they're going to give you things that they say that you can't let them hinder you. Your conviction and your strong will has to overcome that, knowing that you're here to help them, right? So
Right.
she was saying she wanted to go ahead and fix it up and sell it. And basically, we said, what if we can take away that stress without you having to fix it up, and we would pay you all cash? Would that be something of interest to you, right? Questions. And you basically saying that just opened her up all the way, right? Because she understood that you were there to help her.
Right.
So what's another key thing is, you said multiple investors have contacted her before, but what you did is, what did you do that was really important that you felt?
So, and when I went ahead and talked to her, I didn't really focus it too much on the property, but what it meant to her. And she started talking about the sentimental value of how her grandma rebuilt the whole house and this, and this, and how basically just telling me her whole history of how she grew up there.
So, following up, right? If you never followed up with her, you probably would have never got that way with her, right? We gotta remember, we're still meeting these people. They don't know who we are. The more times we talk to them, the more times we touch them, the more rapport we're building with them, right? So it's huge to follow up. How many of us just find a property, we hear that and we just say, you know what, I'm not gonna even bother with it, right? So
Right.
so good job, man. Congratulations. For you taking action. You're gonna figure out that just practicing and rehearsing is gonna give you that confidence, and you did a good job, man. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks to you, bro. All I gotta say is scripts are definitely very key to your business.
Yeah, so we don't need to reinvent the wheel, everybody. That's why I'm saying the systems that Renatus has already plugged in, the trial and error, it's already been there. Just cut your head off and just follow and do what they're saying in the classes and what the trainings are going in. And I gotta say, one that I really attest to that is Kathy. She's on here knocking stuff out. She just learns and implements, and I've been seeing the growth on our calls on the ATM and everything, and it's impressive. So just follow the system. The system works. Go out there, take action. That's going to be the biggest thing, is getting the experience and learning from it and growing with it. Is going to be a great thing, right? So awesome. So congratulations, Sam. I know you guys are supposed to go follow up and look at the property next week. And so, we're eager to hear, how that works out. Make sure you guys are working on your 3 extra strategies and all those great things that come with it. Okay. Like we said, let me see. I just like to draw. So we're going to draw. So like we said, we're doing our money making activities, which is we find the properties, we analyze the deal, we make the offer, we follow up. So he found the property. He's analyzing it as we speak. He already did a follow-up. He's going to make the offer, and he's going to continue to follow up.
I love it.
So, awesome. Now, let's get to the juice and the meat. How many of you guys watched your classes? We were this week was on with Matt Sorensen. Okay, Matt Sorensen and self-directed IRA, or retirement accounts is a better one. Self-directed retirement accounts. Now, this was a really good class. It's taken me a couple times to watch it for it to start resonating, right? But it's really starting to catch on, and I hope you guys see the value and why it's in the essentials course. Because understanding this strategy is going to help your business. It's just gonna just accelerate everything you're doing. Okay. Now, Rudy, I know this week it was your turn to facilitate. So, let me see. I got my notes here somewhere. Are you ready, my man? I'm going to help you out. We're going to kind of play off of each other so everybody can get a real good idea that we're not here to train. We're just facilitating what we learned, and we're going to mastermind. Are you there? Are you ready? Ready, Freddie? Can you hear me?
Yup.
All right, buddy. So we got to watch the self-directed. So let's just start off with just have a conversation. What did you like best about it, Efren?
Well, see, what I like the best about the self-directed IRA, man, I honestly didn't even know that you could do that with the 401k in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
or even a retirement account. I do see the importance of it, of me watching those 17 videos repeatedly. Open my mind to different creativities or a creative way to invest. Like I said, I didn't even think about being able to invest the 401k. I always thought it was mutual funds. Kind of they control your money, kind of the kind of
Right.
thing. But going through this class, those 17 classes that on the self-directed IRA, obviously there's also things that you cannot do.
Right.
You know, and that's very good to know that. To know that not to do those mistakes.
Yeah.
So I
I mean,
mean, it's a really important class. It's a really important class.
so what did he say? There's 27 trillion reasons why you should.
Why?
Well,
I
27.
mean, he was saying there's 27 trillion money in 401ks, Roth IRAs, and self-directed IRAs.
Oh man, it's nuts. And once I when we can realize how to actually, show people exactly how they could retire in their account with their retirement account, how they can roll it over. That's where the majority of these a lot of funding comes from. Kendall and Darren Stock was the previous fix and flip instructor, and they raised I don't know, multi-million dollars just through people's retirement accounts for their fix and flips, right? So this is the strategy they really took home, and this is one of the great ways questions to raise money. So we'll come back to that after. So what's the difference? Okay, we'll ask everybody. What's the difference between a traditional and a Roth IRA? We'll let people start
Uh,
chiming.
I believe what I think this is what if it stick to me, a traditional one will not let you invest in real estate, and a self-directed would or will.
So these are okay. So these are both self-directed. That's what I should say. Traditional self-directed IRA and then a Roth um, self-directed IRA. So all of these are going to be self-directed retirement plans. So the biggest difference, I believe you can invest with traditional, but the difference is going to be the tax benefits. So
Okay.
when the money is going in traditional, you get a tax deduction, right? And then a Roth. What somebody on the chat tell me, what does a Roth do? Or come off online and you could talk and tell us what does a Roth do? So you get a tax deduction going in, but when you take money out of a traditional, you get taxed on it. So you got to kind of see what's the best. Taxed out for Roth. So when you don't get a tax deduction going in with the Roth, but you get
Going out.
no tax. I should put deduction. You get no tax coming out. Now, the story that I really got from it was the gentleman who put down the $10,000 for the option. Do you remember what I'm talking about? That story he was talking about. So a gentleman put in $10,000 for an option fee in
Oh
his
yeah, when he made
in his
90 million dollars,
dude. It's
or
nuts, right?
490,000. Yeah,
So
490.
so he put in 10K to make 490,000, and when he retires or takes it out, he'll get paid no tax on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's got me looking at, like, man, maybe I should start a Roth the Roth IRA, right? And start building that up, because if it can come out tax free, we don't want to pay the government already too much what we're paying them, right? So okay, cool. So what else? What's some other things you got from it, Efren?
Um, just like I said, um, very knowledgeable to know what you cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of this. It's called disqualified persons that you cannot deal with.
Yeah.
With the Roth IRA, and it's good to know that just because you won't make that mistake, that there's the prohibited transactions that I was going through as well. There's many of them as well. That if you're not careful, real quick. And I also remember that they were saying that if you get in trouble with the IRS, you can actually. I don't know if you remember. He was talking about those $490,000 being all taken away if it was a prohibited transaction.
Yeah, the consequences, right?
Yeah.
Penalty disbursements and things like that. Yeah, that's why we got to make. That's why it's so important to go through our classes so we know, because it's so easy to do a prohibited transaction without knowing, right? So
Right.
it's important that that he said that's one of the most important things for people to realize is these prohibited transactions. Um, all right, guys. So somebody type in the chat, what's the most you can put in a Roth per year? How much money can you put in a Roth per year?
Uh,
65? You sure? 65. So here it's 5,500. So it's 55. Okay, yeah, there you go. 5,500 a year, or plus 1K if you're over 60. Ha! 60. Pretty sure it's 60, guys. I think. Pretty sure. Um, right. So 5,500 a year. Now, can you roll over a inherited 401k? So now we're talking about rollovers. Can you inherit a 401k, and can you roll it over? Yes or no? What do you guys think?
yes.
You can. You can roll it over. Yep. Can you roll over a current employer's 401k if you're over 59 and a half? So can you roll over your current, where you're currently working at, if you have a 401k with your current employer and you're over 59 and a half, can you roll over that 401k? What do you guys think? Are you guys sure? Answer is yes. Good job. Into a self-directed. Yeah, so we're talking about rolling over into a self-directed, right? Not self-K, right? So self-directed 401, so it's not, I'm sorry. They do have self-directed 401ks, but we're talking about rolling it over into a self-directed IRA. So they do have self-directed 401ks too, but okay. So let's see here. So so restrictions. What are some restrictions that you can't invest in? So what are the things you can't invest in with the self-directed IRA?
Anything that benefits to you.
Okay, that benefits to you
Yeah.
directly. As far
Or your family.
So
Your
that's gonna be a extension of credit, I think. So there's different prohibited transactions, right? So they have. Let me see. I think I have it right here. So here's what I'll write that after. So you cannot invest in life insurance, right? Remember in the before that he was talking about life insurance.
no life insurance.
Um, not personal property, right? That kind of goes to what Efren you're saying, benefiting yourself or your property for your family member to live in. Yep. What about this? S Corp stock. That was kind of interesting when I seen that. You cannot invest in S Corp stocks. So that's why you see a lot of LLCs, right? No S Corps with IRAs. Not your personal home, and then the prohibited transaction, right? What you guys are talking about. Now, do you guys remember the story of Peter Thiel, who is the first gentleman? His name is Peter Thiel. Who remembers this guy's story? Who is he? He has the biggest Roth IRA in history. So Peter Thiel was the first investor into Facebook. He invested in Facebook with his Roth IRA. And he was also one of the first, he was the co-founder or first investors. I think he was a co-founder of PayPal. His Roth IRA has $900 million in it. Ugh. 900 million tax-free. Oi, tell you what, guys. If this was not in a Roth, he's probably getting at least 33% of that taxed, right? So really look at this strategy, right? You know, if you can implement it now, try it out. If not, you know, make sure you put a plan together to get it going. Ryan out of Hawaii, he just moved to California. He is 29 years old. I believe he has 3 properties in his Roth IRA right now, just growing tax-free, right? Because we can buy investment properties, right? But we can't do anything that benefits ourselves, right? So if you are an IRA owner, which means you own the IRA, right? And the IRA buys a rental property, you cannot personally benefit, which basically means obviously it's gonna get the income, but it's staying in your IRA, but you cannot stay or use, right? So they're very picky with that. He was going over the different stories and the different things. Why don't you guys type in the chat some of your guys' biggest takeaways from this segment? So he was really going into the prohibited transactions, the self-dealing prohibited transactions. What do you guys get? What was your aha moment? Everybody besides Efren.
This is Pat, and hi everyone. One of the things that I was actually listening to part of this at the hospital, and one of the nurses was asking me if what I was listening to was true. And I said, absolutely. I said, talked a little bit about Renatus in the background. And she said, gosh, I think I have one of those. You mean I can do something and get some money back and it's legal? And so for me, one of the biggest thing that I got out of it, aside from already have known some of this information, having studied it before, was realizing that a lot of people really don't know that they have available right now capital that can be used in a way to grow these accounts and have it tax advantages as well as raising their principal. And really it was not a difficult conversation. Kind of, I think I've been on a lot of meds, so I kind of just want to say that up front, and I don't take a lot of meds usually. But I remember even as I was trying to explain it to her, she had just like given me a shot of morphine or something, and I said, I feel like my words are slurring, but do you get that, you know, these are not things that many people are going to talk to you about because they want to sell you different financial products. If you go to a financial planner, many of them are not going to discuss this with you because they're trying to get you to buy other things as well, like your
Right.
life insurance and so forth. They don't talk a lot about this kind of investing, one, because they don't have any control over it, where they do with stocks, bonds, and so forth. So even though I was slightly uh, drug induced, I felt like really what I got out of it was realizing that there's a lot of people out there working really hard for their money, not knowing that they can do some safe investing that will grow their nest and also help us as investors to grow our nest. And it's such a wonderful win-win. And
Hmm.
in the areas of what you can't do isn't the areas that we're involved in anyway.
Right.
We're not involved in the personal properties like, famous artwork or sports stuff like, or Muhammad Ali's belt. That's not our industry. So we're not going to, of course we can tell them, check with your attorney or whomever on the restrictions. But in terms of real estate, we can, without a doubt, say with such clarity and integrity why it is such an awesome opportunity for them.
Definitely. And what I heard most is how intrigued she was. I know Kathy was out there and had a similar situation you did. Talked to a lady and she didn't know she can grow with her retirement account. So this is one of the, I'm glad you wrote into this because there's so many people out there, like you said, who don't know any better, and we can give them double digit returns on their money, help them grow so they could retire faster and spend more time with their family, right? So that's an audio business card, and that's how we can help people. And I want you guys to all write this down. So I'm going to write this question down. This is how we intrigue people to invest, to get them to invest, or if they are interested in investing with their retirement account, if they even knew, right? So did you know you could invest in real estate with your retirement account? That question alone has helped me raise money. I know I need to work on it more. That's why knowing this strategy is so important. But it gives them intrigue to come down to a meeting, intrigue to work with you. Maybe if it's not them, it's somebody else. And then here's going to be your follow-up question. So did you know you can invest in real estate with your retirement account? Um, if I could show you the way to earn triple what you are now, insured and secured by real estate, would that interest you? No. Would you be open to having a conversation? This is a huge sample opener, if you will,
Yeah.
right? This really helps people because let's say they're getting 2 to 3%, triple is 9%, and that's still a good deal for us, and it's still a good deal for you. So you don't want to go out and just tell them an exact number, but if you could double or even triple, and just pat what you're saying and how you're just out there, you're talking to people, you're still putting yourself out there, even though you're outside your comfort zone. That's the progress, guys. That's what's going to get us to where we want to go. That's going to help us build those relationships. Is what's going to help us produce those relationships, the mental capital, the wealth and relationships that we have, right? And just help you move forward with your business. Okay. So, um, thank you for sharing. And I hope you feel better. I know you've been going through a lot. I've been praying for you. I want you to know that. Um, so it's good to hear your voice. So it is 8:53, guys. I am going to wrap this call up. Do you guys have any questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns? Remember, each one of these calls are recorded, and we are have everything available for you guys if you need to go back and read and go through this training. Okay. So any thoughts, questions, or comments on anything before we move forward? Efren, congratulations. Great job. Remember, we are finishing the second half to next week. It is Memorial Day weekend. I just learned today coming up, so make sure you plan for that. Okay, it also gives you some extra time to work on your business. Okay, so any questions, thoughts, comments, anything you need help with at this point in time?
Just want to say thank you, bro, for all the support.
Thank you guys. I'm excited. Thank you everyone for being on here. Let's continue to grind it away. Pat, let me know when you're ready for our call. I hope you guys have a phenomenal day, just a little bit better every single day. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.